All right, this is Nick with Build Brothers Roofing and Solar. Started my digital inspection at 3561 Tomahawk Lane here in the Claremont neighborhood of San Diego. Typically when we start our inspections, we like to start underneath the eave of the house. So your eave is going to consist of your fascia board, you got your rafter tails, and then in this situation we have our plywood eaves. Now the reason why we like to start underneath the eave of the home is that it gives us a really good idea about what kind of wood damage you can expect on the property, and it shows just how good of a job the roof is doing as far as keeping water off the property itself. You can see we got a lot of old termite damage, a lot of rotten wood, and that goes on throughout the corners of the home. I took a bunch of pictures, so the report will show those, but typically what that means is, and it could have been from the older roof, we had some wood rot in the past, some water intrusion. Termites love moist wood, and that's where you get a lot of this, a lot of that termite damage from. So, yeah, termite damage is going to be, prevalent in these areas of San Diego no matter what, but it's just showing that this roof or the roof before that wasn't doing a great job of keeping water off the property. Based off the age of this material though, I'm going to suspect that that is from the older roof. This is an architectural asphalt shingle that we have on this property. There's been some repairs, as you can see. I'm going to point a few things out. You can also notice there's some sagging going on between the beams. Could just be some old plywood that's under that's starting to sag. Doesn't necessarily mean that the roof is bad, but I want to point a few things out on this roof in general. So typically on older asphalt shingle roofs, we're going to see a lot of granule loss. Pretty minimal amount on this roof. So lots of granules still left on this product. The adhesiveness of the shingle is still in good shape as well. So this is telling me that there's definitely some life left on this product. We've got some areas where there have been some repairs, just like I mentioned. You can see the discoloration between this row of shingles compared to the rest of the roof. You'll notice that some of these penetrations, the sealant around the penetration is starting to wear through. For instance, over here, you can see how water and moisture would just be getting down those pipes. So adding some sealant around the penetrations is definitely going to help prolong the life expectancy of the roof. I don't see any major concerns on the slope portion of the roof. My only major concern would be that this is technically a low slope roof. Shingles are meant for water to flow freely off of the roof. And when it's this low of a slope, that water will end up accumulating in areas where it's not supposed to. So what we typically do when we are re-roofing a low slope roof like this and they want to go with shingles, we're going to use an upgraded underlayment that comes in the form of a titanium PSU 30 underlayment. It's a self-adhesive product that goes directly to the decking, helps protect the home. If you didn't want to go with the shingle roof, then at that point we would go with a low slope material like your neighbor has. They have a TPO roof on their roof, which is a fantastic product. It's extremely waterproof, does a great job of reflecting sunlight. But if you like the idea of the shingle look, we can absolutely keep it. And then we would need to use an upgraded underlayment. The point I'm trying to make is this roof is okay, it's in good shape, but the homeowner needs to be proactive when it comes to checking on the roof, especially during the first rain that comes through after he gains ownership of it. And then also just maintaining it, right? Again, this roof is not allowing water to flow freely off of it, so we want to make sure that it stays in good shape. This flat roof is my concern at the moment. So you can see we got a lot of ponding going on around the edges. All these granules accumulate in this portion of the roof, and that's where all the water sits and ponds. You'll notice that the material started to come up from the edges, from the material. It's no longer adhering to the drip edge over in that corner. Same thing over here. Everything's just kind of starting to come up, and you can see how rusted out that is. So that's been going on for quite some time. The other thing is we've had some repairs done on this section as well. You can see some of this is starting to come up. We got some fresh mastic that was smeared on there. You can see how soft that is, and that would go along this entire seam. You can see just how loose this material is. They just went ahead and smeared some more mastic. But there was a big repair done over here, and check this out. That's not going to do much. Water's going to be getting underneath this portion of the roof every time it rains. And on a flat roof, that is a major concern. Water is going to always find its way into the home if the flat roof was not done properly. So what I would suggest doing, just based off the amount of repairs that I've seen on this, the condition of this torch down material, amount of granule loss that we're already seeing, is I would recommend replacing this flat roof with that TPO material. Again, it's a fantastic product when it comes to waterproofing. It's going to turn this entire flat section into one singular membrane. We're going to take it up underneath this portion of the shingle, and then it does a really good job of reflecting sunlight and reflecting heat. So rest of the roof, it's got life left in it. I'll give it another, more than likely another, let's say 5 to 8 years, probably a little bit more depending on the weather that we get. This flat roof is my concern. I am going to suggest replacing this flat roof, going with the TPO material, just to maximize the waterproofing, energy efficiency, and keep that area of the house nice and cool. That is it for my inspection.